start screaming. Live scream has started. Live scream. Let's get this shit situated. Alright, so we have an iPhone 6 today that was sent in for what I can only assume was a water damage issue that doesn't boot. After looking over the board and taking the shields off, noticed a few things. Some of the shields are already off, barely hanging on. Noticed that somebody's already started to take off caps. VCC main cap there was moved. You can see some heat's been here. Some of these caps have been moved. If we go on down, there's some caps down here that have been removed. Some heat signs. You can see where caps are shifted. There's a lot of flux on the board everywhere. Baseband side, I don't think it had been removed, but there was a lot of flux under the shield. Looking around, just checking everything. The CPU shield was still intact. We removed the CPU shield and noticed that all the underfill is cleared out around the CPU, and it looks like there's been some heat because we got a inductor there that has some solder bulged out of it. And if you look down the side of this thing, let's see if I can get that in focus. You all can see it. CPU's been reballed on this one. So the CPU and NAND have no underfill, and you can see the what's up, Paul? You can see the balls under it there. You can see all them balls. So I'm gonna clean that up a little bit so you can see it. That should be able to help you see it a little better. But you can see the... Yeah, Rehot actually can fix this one. So this iPhone doesn't boot up. When you plug it in originally, you don't get any amp draw. So there's no battery short and there's no VCC main short. But as soon as you try to boot the phone up, it goes to a like 460 to 500 milliamp draw. And guess what, Paul? The DC power supply stopped responding to the computer again randomly. So it's back doing what it was doing before. If we're going to ultrasonic clean this one first, I don't want to reflow the CPU first. I'd rather try to run it through ultrasonic, because if we go into continuity mode, so you all can hear this. Those are leads shorted together. If I come over here and I meter the this cap right here is the 1V8 SD line. That's 0 ohms on this side, which is ground, and then the output is also 0 ohms. So we have a dead short somewhere here. First thing I'm going to do though, before we run it through ultrasonic, I'm going to try to remove the inductor here and this cap. Well, I'll remove the inductor and then see if the cap is on the side that's shorted or not. If it is, we know that our short is internal to the CPU if the capacitor doesn't solve the issue. So I'm going to do that first. So since we have no underfill under our CPU, I'm not necessarily worried about it getting reflowed, because if it does, it's just going to reflow. There's no underfill now, it can't really shift anywhere. So I need to put my tip back on. clear my mind. It's wrist wrong. Sweet. Nice probes. Are they new? No, those aren't new. Those probes have been around for a while. I just haven't broken one of them yet. Alright, so I'm going to try to get this inductor off without completely destroying anything around it. I'd like to get the inductor off without destroying it. That way I can just put it right back on. So that is my objective here, is to get this off without destroying it. Well, it broke anyway, so at this point, fuck it. Just get it off. Alright, so we can scavenge one of those off another board. I'm going to get rid of the compressed metal here that's left over. On rare occasion, you can get lucky and this capacitor over here is actually the problem, or maybe it'll be something. So the inside pad is a sign that it's the CPU. Outside pad means it's something on the outside and it's not CPU related. So, well, looky there. So it may not be CPU at all. So that's on the outside pad, which goes to, I bet, PMIC. I'm willing to bet. Yep, PMIC. So I noticed when I started messing with this that the PMIC had looked like it had some flux around it. So there's a good chance that PMIC is either faulty or has some corrosion under it. So let's go ahead and remove PMIC. So I kind of had a suspicion that PMIC had been messed with based on the fact that there's caps around PMIC that are crooked. So I use the technique of holding it off the board. So I hold the board up with the PMIC while I pinch it. And then as soon as the PMIC is hot enough to release, the board will fall away from the PMIC. And to this day I have not lifted a pad doing this. And there you go. So I don't see any corrosion there though. So maybe the PMIC itself is faulty internally. Let's see. Let's check and see if our short is still present. I don't see any caps on this line other than that, so yeah, so the short's gone. So it was definitely PMIC related. Now let's see if it's an internal short to PMIC. So yeah, the fall away method is much better, I think. I can't remember who told me. I think it was Ben Duffy that told me how to do that one. Chris invented it? No, not really. That's an inside joke now. Chris made it. Chris did not make it, and Chris is not looking for internet fame. So let's count down here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then right above it is ground. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 here. There you go. So ground is here, 1V8 is here. So metering the two, we have a 0 ohm short internal to the PMIC. So the PMIC is faulty. So I need to get a parts board to snag a PMIC off of. Let's see if the iPhone 6s or 6 Plus and the 6 have the same PMIC. I would be shocked if they didn't. They may not. Let's see. 338, 338, S1, 251, AZ1. Nope, they're the same. Okay. So let's pull this one off and reball it and then put it on.
Choose one in this case too?
Yeah. So we're going to heat this PMIC up. Also, while I have PMIC off, I'm going to go ahead and replace some caps around the PMIC since it gives me a little more working room. That way I don't have issues with caps that go bad later on. How did I not know what? Not know that the PMIC numbers? Now I gotta remember which PMIC is which. I just took one off. Alright, well, easy way to check. Just meter the pads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, so no short on that one. On this one though, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright. So that's the bad one. That one goes in the trash can. I need to make a phone that's just nothing but problems. Like, just put all the shittiest parts on it and then have somebody diagnose it. I'm gonna have to turn the heat up. See if I can desolder these or not. I may have to resort to the hot air. Hot air may be bitter in this situation. Bitter.
Bitter butter.
Bitter butter.
Bitter butter.
Alright, so let's see if we can do this quickly and efficiently.
Quickly and efficient.
Okay, it's one off. Two off. I'm trying to let it cool in between lifts because as you keep heating this, it's going to heat soak the board more and more. So give the board a little time to cool, just so that it's not sitting there just on fire constantly. Well, if I can hold this one. Evidently my tweezers don't want to cooperate with this one. Motherfuck. Alright, you're gonna get a little curve to you, tweezers. Alright. Got one more on this row that looks like shit. And then we've got one up here that looks like shit. Alright. So what I'm gonna do is tin these pads up with lead. That way when we replace these, they go back on easier. We'll get a parts board to pull from. A JBC with a working heater element. That PMSC is fluxed. Alright, so let's put down some nice leaded solder. That way when we come back, these will reflow beautifully.
How much is the 6S Plus again? It's 140 now?
145.
145, okay.
Well, that crystal just got a nice lead top to it. Let's see if I can get in here without screwing this one up. Alright, clean that one off and then we'll be ready to place some caps. Micah, can you grab me a 6 board?
6 board?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Don't yell.
I'll yell at you if I want. Random piece of dirt comes out of nowhere and lands on the board. Let's see. The memo. Man, I didn't get the memo.
I got a memo for you.
Alright, so now let's add some leaded solder to our pads here. So when we go to clean this up later, it's much easier. There's almost nothing to fear on this one because the CPU's been re-balled already. I can't really overheat it because the underfill under it is gone. The only thing that would bother me is the backlight driver still has underfill on it, which is impressive. They were able to put the CPU on without disturbing the backlight filter. I'm fairly confident they use such low temperatures that's why they get away with just replacing, like they can replace just the RAM chip on top of the CPU without disturbing the underfill under the actual CPU, which is just absolutely nuts. I think they're running like temperatures under 300, like they're just taking their time to heat the chip up and just barely get it over the point where it'll melt, and that way the underfill doesn't go like crazy expansion on them. Alright, so let's now wick our pads for the PMIC. So I use the method that I like to use on all of this. I use hot air and wick. I don't like to use the iron and wick just because you're having to add so much pressure to the board when you do that, and it's prone to lift pads easy. I mean, it's not impossible to lift pads even wicking like this, but it's just not as common. Okay, let that cool for a second, and I'm going to try to wick the top of this coil here, or not coil, crystal. It's crazy to me that the crystals on the 6 series are nowhere near as sensitive as like the iPhone 5 series coils, or crystals. I keep saying coils. Oh no, Jess has gotten to you. Gotten to me about what? About the pads? I've not liked wicking pads with the iron on iPhones at all. I'll do it on Macs, but not on these. The pads are just way too sensitive. Jessa doesn't even like to she doesn't like to condone wicking with hot air either, so I kind of go against her better judgment anyway. Where the fuck do all these little hairs come from? Get out of there. Alright, so our area is cleaned out other than the random tiny little hairs that come out of nowhere. So we need to get caps back on here. There's some that are a little tall. Try to knock these down some. You don't want a whole lot of solder on the pads, just enough for the cap to just kind of pull itself into place. If you put a whole lot of solder on here, what will happen is when you go to refill that cap into place, the solder will kind of balloon out and then it'll bridge, and then it just becomes a pain in the dick. Oh, here's an iPhone 6 that I actually was testing pulling the RAM off of. So that's the actual CPU die right here, and then the RAM attaches on top there. Alright, so well, this board looks like dog shit too. clean this up a little bit. Alright. Let's start pulling caps. So who are we missing here? So we're missing this guy here. Okay, that cap's on. Nudge it over a little bit there. Alright, so we can pretty much just go down this row here and pull all these. Placing all these caps off to the side. Okay, and then there's one over here to the side. So it's this one. We'll set that one away from the others. Alright, so whenever you're placing caps or components and you don't want them to blow away from the board, the best thing to do is put down a little flux. That way when the flux melts, the component is less likely to just blow away and more likely to stay in place. So as you can see, they just kind of pull themselves to the pad. See, I have no flux there and I keep blowing my component away. Now to see where it went. There it is. So your flux will evaporate fairly quickly. That's what it's supposed to do, especially with no clean. Should leave behind very little residue. You pull one more from the other board. Alright, so
You can see how may help you. He's a little busy at the moment. Probably be about an hour or two. Okay. Yeah, he's here. Yeah, he's busy at the moment.
who is it? What do they need?
What do you need exactly? About whose phone? What's the name? Crystal Jones.
Yes. I called her yesterday and told her that it was done, but the front camera wasn't working.
Okay, yeah, he's calling to let you know that it was done, but the front camera wasn't working. Yeah, the front camera. I'm not sure. I think it was a board issue.
Wasn't able to get it figured out. Did you use the AmScope camera? Yes.
Yeah, the phone's working. Yeah.
AmScope MU1403. Alright. Time to do PMIC. 125.
125.
I'm not too sure. Like I said, I think it was a board issue. I'm not too sure if it can be fixed.
Maybe something to do with CPU.
Yeah, we can do that. Okay. Okay. No problem. Bye.
That's the lady.
Yeah, I
Can you tell?
figured that out. Yeah, she's antsy.
Yeah. Seems really bossy about it.
And that's without the camera being fixed? Can the camera be fixed?
Yeah, I charged $125 for board damage repair from Liquid, screen replacement, new front camera and proc sensor, and install and everything, $125, and she's not happy with it. Because evidently I'm somehow not being a fair price at that.
I'm gonna give my friend a call on the Samsung. It's gonna be the price of the screen pull plus $35 to replace the charge port, right?
Yes.
Okay. $25 if they don't care about the paint peeling, and $75 if they want it refurbed.
Yes.
All right.
Tell them there's a chance that the paint can peel on it because of just the Samsung screens in general.
Okay.
I charge $120 for board only. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like, I did this water damage repair for her because, well, evidently at first it was my fault that she didn't pick it up, even though we called her. But then now she's probably going to complain about the cost of it because
the camera's
not working on the front. The rear camera works, front camera doesn't. I'm not sure why. I've replaced the camera twice, and I've checked over everything. It looks fine, but I'll check it again today just to make sure. But that's what some customers are like that. This lady is the one that came into the flea market and yelled at me and called me a thief and told me that I stole her phone.
Hey, is this Lindsay? Hey, this is Micah. I was calling you about your phone. Alright, I got the back cut off. And we was looking at the charge port, and unfortunately the pins are on the opposite side of the board. Yeah, it sucks. We got a guy that can pull the screen on your phone without busting it. And he charges $25 to pull it. The thing is, on these Samsung screens, like, it won't damage your screen, but there's a chance that the paint, like the black paint around the edge of the LCD, it could pull and actually, just ruin the paint on it.
The screen will still work though.
Yeah, the screen will still work. So what it's going to be is it's $25 to get the screen pulled. And he said if it was something that's going to bother you if the paint does peel, he can refurbish it, but it'd be $75 to refurbish it.
Tell him we'll replace the back housing too.
And whenever we get the screen pulled, we was going to replace the back housing too, where we cut open to try to look at that charge port. Okay. Okay.
Still got a pad that's not tinned.
No. You won't lose any.
Oberdick's here.
Like that, no. And nothing like that should. They're really good at what they do with the people we're gonna send them to. They're actually the guys that we have.
I didn't even see what you said. What did you say, Oberdick? Jesus.
So that's why I'd rather send it over there. Like, if we try to pull it here on these Samsung
Pretty hot
phones, there's a
CPU,
chance
bro.
we can crack the LCD panel, and we don't.
The Wick I'm using is.
And they got all the tools and equipment to
Techspray?
pull these screens.
Number 4.
Okay. I put it in that phone. I
Good
put
stuff.
it in that phone for you. Yeah, it's in there for you.
Lovely day in Ohio.
And I think we have an order for some LCDs today. So whenever we go over there,
Overdick, I hear that Sundays are great in Ohio. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
No, do not use Goot
Alright.
Wick. Do
Talk to
not
you
listen to Paul Daniels.
No problem.
Only
Bye.
communists use Goot Wick. I buy that American made, that good shit. Doctor said you may have cancer. You've been peeing red, white, and blue. I said, you shut your commie mouth.
Okay. So we'll send this phone whenever we go to school.
Alright, time to do some cleanup and then reball. Reball. Who wears short shorts? Underdick wears short shorts.
Underdick loves the short shorts. Like
You know what?
ones that come up to here.
You know what I was thinking
like
the other
they
day,
were in the
Micah?
70s.
You know what I was thinking, Micah, the other
What?
day? I was thinking, man, that Michael Overdick has made a lot of money off of spinners. You think he would buy a shirt from one of his friends that
I
made it
think he'd buy
specifically
a
for
shirt
him?
Too, yeah.
You would think he would.
Instead, he's out there spending all those money on those big booty grabber shorts like they were
Yeah.
in the 70s. The ones that
Big
come up
booty
there and
grabber
grab
shorts.
Grab those grapes real tight.
Soundgarden. Yeah. It's over it. Whatever his name died.
I don't even know his name.
I don't know his name. Because I don't keep up with music that much.
Chris doesn't keep up with music that much, obviously.
Obviously. Alright, so let's clean up our stencil. I'll trade you 20 spinners for a shirt.
20 spin. Is that the new currency spinners?
Yeah, currency in the
in the
post-apocalyptic world.
Dystopian world.
Stuck in his ass, yeah. And then people were like, don't buy spinners, they'll get stuck in your ass. Like, that's a common thing.
They need to make spinners that actually make noise.
I saw one the other day. Mark posted it. It had a guy standing on the side of an alligator pit and fucking puts a spinner on an alligator's nose and spins it. It's pretty funny.
The alligator gave no fucks.
And it didn't. The alligator was like, "Fucking put your hand near my mouth again, bitch." That's gonna be Michael Oberdick's new job. He's gonna start an alligator farm that all he does is does spinner tricks on top of them. Alright, let's turn our airspeed down because we don't want to blow this shit away. And we're going to try to start from one side and slowly move to the other. Alright, let that cool for a second. Move over. Alright, that seems to have reballed fairly well. Let's let it cool a little bit. I have a board that pulled every cap off and there's still a short. Never seen a phone like that. I'm about to pull CPU. What line is the short on? That'll kind of give you an idea of where you need to be looking. No sense in pulling the
You lost your chip.
Where'd it go?
Where it went.
Where? Oh, right here. No sense in pulling CPU off if you got a short on 3-volt NAND line. Alright, let's put down the magic flux, aka Lewis Jizz.
Lewis comes in here and puts all the semen on there.
I'm hoping Lewis he should have both of his shirts today, so I'm hoping he'll wear one of them on live stream. We'll see if he does. Have you looked at the hoodie? I want the coil one, but was thinking the hoodie because of the L. Have I looked at it? Yeah, I've looked at it. I haven't ordered one. It's summertime right now, so I don't know that it will sell. I'm gonna order some more for myself. We're gonna make Micah one. There's gonna be a special one for Micah soon. Freshly squeezed. Alright, so let's take a gander at our PMIC and make sure everything is copacetic here. Looks pretty good. Reballing looks very even. Looks really good, actually. Turned out well. I'm gonna clean it a little more, and we're gonna put that back on. Had to change a dock FPC on iPhone 6. Refit by heating the bottom. Mad skills, bro. Skrizzles. Alright, I don't know what that piece of metal is, but it's gotta go. Alright, so let's put this back on the board. On the board. Hopefully our CPU hasn't shifted. Doesn't look like it. Looks good. Looking good. Alright, let's put some flux down. Get a nice coating under there. Alright. We'll place our PMIC. Kind of position it, eyeball it into place. It looks eyeballed pretty well. We're going to wait until we see a little flux boiling out. Alright. Turn our airspeed back up here. PMIC's a little crooked. Let's see if we can just... Oh, it's pretty stuck down. We'll have to just let it reflow itself into place. Okay. PMIC looks even. Hello from India. How are you all doing? How's it India today? Just went from doing my iPhone 6 backlight repair and my heating element went to shit on my hot air. That sucks. Alright, let's check and see if we have any shorts on the SD RAM line now. No short there, no short there. So there's no short on the SD RAM now. Let's check around the PMIC for shorts. Well, that's not good. That cap's sideways. Let's fix that cap real quick. Mr. Cap, you can't be sitting like that. Sorry. Alright, that's better. Now you're not touching your neighbor. Alright, so let's check all our Different power rails. 1v8's good. Neon is good. Let's see, this is probably GPU. Yep, 20 ohms, GPU. CPU should be over here somewhere. There's CPU, 50 ohms. What's that? That seems a little low. That is ground. Oh, it's GPU. Never mind. Yeah, 20 ohms. So that's right. Alright, I think that's... Let's see, what are you? You are SOC line, so that's okay. That's 70 ohms on the SOC line. That's SOC also, that's 84. It's coming up slowly. VCC main, there's no short. Alright, so I'm fairly confident that if we put an inductor back on here that this should work without any issues. We'll snag the inductor off this one here if we can get it off without destroying it. Alright, wrong board. So I'm going to tin that up with a little bit of lead to help with the install going quicker. Put some leaded solder on here. I'm going to wick some of that away because that is too much. Alright, let's get them out. Just barely some on there. Alright, so shouldn't take very long to reflow into place. Okay. Alright, that's on. Now we'll see if it'll boot up or if our CPU has suffered some more damage here. It's crazy. I really want to get to the point where I can do CPUs like this. Alright, let's see if we have any shorts or anything. We'll know as soon as we try to boot it if the CPU has anything going on under it. It'll do a fairly high amp draw and should immediately get hot. Alright, so hooked up power. There's no shorts on VCC main or anything. Let's see what happens when we try to boot it. It looks normal. Let's see if it jumps up. Yep, it does. Alright, so let's hook up our screen and see if it is booting. It sure seems like it. Let me see the screen for it, Micah.
Yeah, there was no screen.
Oh, is there not?
Yeah, there was.
Does it have water damage on it?
I don't see nothing on it.
I'm gonna just I'm gonna use this one.
We just use that one, Chris.
I don't trust that one.
Don't yell at me.
I would never yell at you, Michael.
Chris, you always yell at me. You always call me names.
Alright, so I don't know if it's booting, but the amp draw that it's giving me looks somewhat normal. It went from, there was no screen attached, so it jumped up to about 160 or so milliamps. So let's hook this up and see if we get boot.
Hey there. Can I help you?
I called yesterday. Let's see if you guys might be able to repair this.
Alright.
I got it this far and then realized it was more than I could handle.
Okay.
No backlight. I have Apple logo though. No backlight. Oh, I know why I have no backlight. Duh. Micah,
What?
why didn't you tell me
Why did I tell you what?
why I have no backlight?
Because I did try to tell you.
It's because
I told you it's the coil.
No, it's my pen. My pen's burnt. It's not even connected.
And the coil's burnt.
I don't know if the coil's burnt. Coil looks okay. Diode looks okay. Let's check output caps. The phone does.
Beep.
Phone boots now though. Just no backlight. Oh, no short.
Can't see how many help you.
So see if we can get in here and solder this.
What type of iPhone? iPhone 6 is a 6 or 6S? Just a regular 6? Is it the screen, or what's wrong with it? If it's just the screen, then it's $80. Not a problem. Because it's 7. No problem. Bye.
Alright, let's see if that's soldered.
Alright, we'll take a look at it and give you a call whenever we get it figured out, okay?
Okay, yeah. No worries, thank you.
Not a problem.
Alright, so evidently stream dropped and it didn't show it on my end or YouTube's end. It was green on both sides. It just
Chris.
decided it wasn't going to do that. Anyway, when everybody gets back in here, I don't know where you all got to, but PMIC's back on. I attempted boot with the screen attached. It does boot up. I got an Apple logo, but there's no backlight. And I forgot when I was looking earlier that the anode line here was completely destroyed and was not making contact. So I need to solder that down. So let's see if I can. See if I can get that pin soldered. Just order the wick you sell. It's good wick. I like it. It's not goot. It's good. Alright, so that's connected now. Let's see if we get backlight. Sorry about the disconnect, everybody. I don't know exactly what happened there. The stream status on YouTube and on my end stayed green, so I don't know why it disconnected. YouTube never dropped below green, which is odd, even though it was buffering. And I don't have any drop frames on this end, so I have no idea. Alright, so prompt to boot again. I still don't think there's backlight. Nope, still no backlight. But we do have Apple logo still. Let me see what my output is here. See if I'm getting any boost. No boost. Alright, so Apple hacked me. Maybe so. Let me see if my joint here is good enough or not. See what's connected. It doesn't seem like it. It pushed off really easy, so I'm gonna guess that the flux was just kind of holding it in place. I'm gonna increase the brightness here. Let's come in here and try to resolder these again. I need to check and see if there's any smaller ends for these tweezers. I think these are the smallest ones, but if there's smaller ones, I'd like to get them. Alright, maybe that got it. That looks a little better. Let me clean it up. It'd be my luck I'd get this all back together and then the fucking backlight won't work. Alright, so let's see now. Yeah, it's definitely soldered now. Alright, let's see if we have backlight now. If we still don't have backlight, we'll have to investigate the backlight circuit and see why it's not boosting. Maybe a cathode's bad or something. Anode checks out. So it's either cathode or maybe the chip or something. Maybe the coil's bad. Who knows? We'll find out. Alright, so let's try booting this again. If I don't unplug it. Nope, still no backlight. It's booting, but there's no backlight. I can tell by the initial amp draw what it's doing. Alright, so what we need to do, I'm going to unplug it and we need to start doing some testing. Is the coil bulged? Or do we see anything weird on the sides of it? I'm gonna pull this back so. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Alright, so looking at the coil, it's dirty, but it's not cracked or anything. Diode looks fine. Let's test the diode and see. See what we got here. It's never the coil. It's a lot of the time it is the coil. I can't count how many times it's been a coil issue. Like, the thing you have to keep in mind, like filters are coils, inductors are coils. There's a lot of different things that can be considered a coil. So that's why I kind of made the general statement that it's the coil. The reason Jessa made her shirt is because a while back, and I was guilty of this too, whenever you had issues with image on an iPhone, people would be like, well, what is it? And everyone would be like, it's the chestnut coil. And that became such a big thing that it was the answer for pretty much everything. Not that it was the solution, it was just what people said. So it kind of became a running gag that it's the coil. So that's where that kind of stemmed from. In Lewis's opinion, it's always the coil. So let's test our diode here. We should have, with the diode working properly, we should have flow from VCC main to the other side of the coil in one direction. Alright, so there's no flow there. But if we flip our polarity on our meter here, we should get voltage flow. Alright, so we get 0.19 volts across the diode in one direction and 0 the other direction. So we know the diode's good. So what could be our issues here? Let's see, where are our cathodes? We'll check our cathodes real quick. I suspect that they're fine, but just to make sure. Alright, so cat 1 should be right next to the anodes. And then cat 2 should be across from it. It is. Alright. So this one here is a cat line. And the cathode lines are a form of feedback for the backlight circuit. Alright, that's 0. I'll put it in continuity so you all can hear it. Continuity beep test is the most common one I use, but so that's good.
Hey there.
Hey, how are you?
Doing pretty good.
I just bought one of the last
Okay.
My dad was
With the 6,
So,
it'd be $80.
awesome. How long does it take to get it?
We can have it done in about 20 minutes or so.
Do we have a screen?
20 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a screen?
Oh, wait.
Yeah, we do.
Do we?
White one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we got, it'll take 20 minutes.
Like, I can pick it up at home one. How's that?
Okay. Alright, sounds good.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. So our cathode lines are both good. The cathode filter can be bad and still beep, but it's not very common that they go bad. It usually would have to stem from some type of damage, like direct damage to them, physical damage. I've not seen cathodes fail other than from water damage. Alright, so there's two possibilities here for the reason we have no backlight. Either the screen is faulty, which it's not. Well, there's actually three possibilities. Either the screen's faulty, but I tested it the other day and it had backlight, so I don't think that's the issue. The backlight driver or coil is bad, so something with the actual circuit, or the CPU directly talks to the backlight driver, and if there's something wrong with it or something, it can turn the backlight driver off. Alright, Paul, have a good sleep, man. Go take you a nice nap.
Nap time.
Nappy nap. Apple time. So I'm gonna hope that it's not a CPU problem, because I really don't want to have to reflow the CPU because it works. And I don't know why it would all of a sudden be an issue. But there is a possibility that the driver here has been damaged, because the anode line was water damaged and could have caused possibly a amperage spike that could have damaged the IC itself. So let me check and make sure, but should have a backlight driver we could replace. Yep, we have plenty. So we'll go ahead and pull the coil, or destroy the coil. How you doing, Mark? Go ahead and destroy the main coil here and get it out of the way. That way I'm not dicking around with stuff around it. And then after that, we'll replace the IC, and then we'll test again. So the way that I get rid of this nice coil here, which may seem a little barbaric, but I like to destroy it. That way I don't have to deal with anything around it from too much heat. So just press your iron into the coil, and the glue that kind of holds the ferrite material together will get hot, and as it gets hot it falls apart. Not bad. Hanging out. Soon to be CPR shop. Are you selling out, or is somebody starting one? Alright, so just gonna go through here and try to scrape away most of this material. if you ever want some jumper wire, you can find it inside the coil. So if you have any old coils or something, you can destroy them and get jumper wire out of them. Alright, so I'm going to put down already established shop. Cool. Hulk smash. Well, I tried to, Bobby. If you all have any suggestions, just let me know. If it's something I think that's relevant, I'll definitely keep it in mind. If you just throw out stupid shit, I'll just ignore it. Alright, so now that I've got the coil legs tinned, you can see they come out fairly easy. Just put your iron down on top of it and then drag out, and the end of the coil will come with. So now I'm just gonna, I'm not pressing very hard, I just want to clean this area as much as I can. That way when we go to place our new coil, the cleaner the area, the easier it's going to be to put it back. New iPhone 7 home button hacks. I don't want to dick with any iPhone 7 home buttons. We had a lady that came in today. We did an iPhone screen replacement on there. We used a refurbished screen, and she came back a few days later, and now the screen looks like it's from the 1980s or something, like an old cathode tube television. I guess it could be in the 90s, but the 90s had a little better quality. Looks like an old cathode tube TV. It's got like scan lines on it, and there's no signs of damage anywhere on the phone. So we're gonna return that screen and get a new one for her. But the home button works on that one, so I don't want to dick with the home button if I don't have to. Alright, so we got some solder here from our cleanup. I like to come in, if you watch, see if you just take your tweezers or a micro pencil or something while it's warm and just rub it against the underfill, that shit just breaks right up into like a powder. So it makes it easier to clean out underfill with a hot iron than it does trying to pick at it with your tweezers. Not selling out, but innovating. Oh, I don't. You can sell your company and start a franchise if you want. I mean, there's money in franchises, no doubt about that. I just wonder, like, the only thing that I have against like a situation like that would be, for me personally, being a business owner, like I'm afraid to give up any type of leadership, I guess, or control like that. It bothers me to think that somebody else can make decisions for my company, but maybe that I've got it completely wrong. Maybe it's a situation that's not like that. Alright, so again, our CPU isn't underfilled anymore, so I'm not too concerned with it getting too hot. Let our acetone kind of boil off there. Alright, backlight driver is off. Alright, so I don't want to dick with the solder there too much. When you've got the BGA pulled like that and the balls are still pretty large on the board, if you hit one of those, there's a higher chance of you knocking the pad off, because it's a lever in sorts, because the higher away from the bottom point where it connects, the more force that's created by just touching it. So I try not to be too aggressive when I pull something like that. I try to get the solder knocked down first, and then come back in and clean up my underfill afterwards. Idiots run into people at lunchtime, squared 1 dead, 12 injured. What? Watching Leon Stace the other day, and he didn't clean away the underfill and was getting on the pads And it's clean that shit out. Underfill on what, Bobby? What's up, Amy? What's up, TCRS? Everybody needs to say a little prayer for TCRS since he's been dominated by a MacBook for a while. Kind of sucks you couldn't get it working after all that time invested, but that's this. I've got a phone here just like that I worked on yesterday. I didn't stream it, but I'm glad I didn't stream it. It would have been like a 6-hour stream of me being frustrated. I got a phone in a 6 Plus that was long screw damaged in 2 holes. It was causing a no boot. They did a Mason repair for Touch IC. I guess after they took the screws out, it caused the phone to stop booting. I fixed the long screw damage, got the phone to turn on. But if you put Mason on, the phone shorts out and has no image. If you take Mason off, it has image but no touch. And I'm trying to figure out why, and I've replaced Mason like 6 fucking times now. And it still just keeps doing the same thing over and over. So I started checking the lines, and the 1V8 line for some reason is completely disconnected from the rest of the phone that feeds Mason. So I'm going to jump that and see if that does anything. But I was talking to Mark, it doesn't make much sense that a missing voltage line would cause a short. But maybe there's something internal to the IC that needs that voltage to control something else. I don't know. I'll find out. Alright, so our area now is clean. Come in here and just make sure that this is all kind of flattened out. Can really see the circuitry under the chip there. You can see all the vias, like there's a via there, via there, via there, there. This line runs to the diode input, and then the switch output comes out here and runs over to the caps into this pad. And then you got more vias there. So that's crazy. You can see, I'll explain how the circuit works. So since we can see the bottom here, so this is VCC main. You can see it's tied to these 2 caps, and it runs over here to this pad. This pad goes through the inductor. The inductor will resist changes in voltage. So if you spike a voltage through it, it'll kind of chop off part of that voltage because it doesn't change very fast. So the inductor will allow a high spike of voltage to come through it and actually kind of level it out. And the way it does that is it comes through here, goes through the inductor, all the little coil in there, and then goes out through here and through the diode. Well, this pad right here is attached to this line before the diode, and what this pad does is the IC will short this line right here to ground at a high frequency. So it's probably in the megahertz range, maybe more. I'm not sure how fast it switches, but it'll switch this pad to ground, which will cause power wants to go the shortest path to ground. So it'll pull through this coil really fast, and it'll hit here, and then when this shuts off, the power that it's drawn through at a high rate, which has increased the voltage, will go through the diode because it can't go to this pad anymore since it's open, and it has to keep going just like water through a pipe. If pressure's coming through here, it has to keep going through the pipe, and it'll go through the diode, and then when the pressure drops here, instead of the pressure that's built up here running back through this area, the diode acts like a check, and it keeps that voltage high on the output side. So that's how that system works. And then if you look up here, this pad right here, you can see is tied to the output line. That tells the IC what the voltage is on the output. So the IC knows, hey, do I need to keep boosting? Do I need to slow down boosting? Etc. And then you also have lines from cathode, which are under the chip, that tell the phone, okay, here's how much power the actual backlight's consuming. Adjust accordingly. And then you also have pads under here that talk to the CPU, and CPU can use data from like the light sensor or proc sensor or anything like that, and it can adjust the backlight accordingly also by sending a signal through one of these lines and telling the IC, hey, bring the voltage down to dim the backlight, or increase the voltage, or turn it off completely, or whatever it needs it to do. So pretty complex little chip for as small as it is. Make sure that's super cleaned out. Alright. S4 glass. Okay, let me grab an IC. Hopefully that explanation is clear enough. Alright, so we'll take our new IC, flip it over here. Pin 1 is in the top here, so we need to align it accordingly. We're going to put down some flux. We don't want a whole lot, just enough to promote a clean joint. Okay, I'm going to press it down. I don't know if I can stop lifting my tweezers up at a weird angle. There we go. Alright, so we're going to come in and heat this chip and hopefully not blow it away. Let it boil off some of the acetone here under the board. And you'll see this chip, it'll shift and sit down. Alright, so it's shifted. There it goes. It's set down on its pads. We don't have to nudge it. I saw it move over into place. Alright, to show that, ooh, board's warm. You can see there that those have set down. You can actually see, let me increase the brightness, see if you all can see it. That's as bright as it'll go. But I can see the solder balls all the way down the side of the IC there. So now we're going to put a coil back in place. The coils I used are one that Mark had suggested to me. They're an iPhone 5S style coil. You can put them in most places that the iPhone 6 coil goes. The only positive to them, they're not any different really than the 6 coil, other than you can access the sides where they solder down, which keeps you from having to use hot air, which is, especially on a board where the CPU has not been reballed already, which is majority of them. You don't have to worry about using hot air and overheating the CPU. Alright, so that's soldered. Now let's see if we have backlight or not. Actually, Micah, let me see their screen.
Their screen?
Yeah, because you took my white screen.
Where's screen?
Let's see, make sure that this one's okay. No, it's not okay. Do we have a screen that had like bubbles in it or something?
Full screen.
Did that other one have bubbles in it? The other one I gave you?
Yeah. I think it did. Sorry, it took the back just came on this. Maybe it didn't.
I don't think that one did.
Yeah, it did.
Does it?
The very
Top. We gotta get.
We'll
We
have
gotta
the
get
screen
Seth.
today and we'll replace it.
When's he coming back?
1. Hey there.
Hey.
Can I help you?
I think my screen needs replaced.
Okay.
Hey, backlight. Backlight. Backlight in the house. Let's see if it'll boot up. Didn't boot up. Started to. Then it stopped. Started to and then it stopped.
Hey Chris.
Yep.
How much is the digitizer for iPad mini?
Mini one, it's 65.
65. Good. Go ahead and get it done. Okay, let me get you a solid phone.
Alright. See what happens again.
There you go, sir.
Temperature warning.
Is it still
And then it
power
shuts
on?
off.
It was, and then I don't know if it broke it more, if the battery.
Okay, no.
Alright, so temp
I just
warning.
make sure the LCD stays good.
Nothing's hot. Pretty sure there's a temp sensor right here. Let's see. Temp sensor, temp sensor. Yep, right here. So one of these is a temp sensor.
Okay. Alright. We'll give you a call when it's done.
Alright, cool.
So I'm currently getting a over temp sensor warning. So the possibilities here are the SOC temp sensor is right here. It's one of these two. Let me see. One of them is a capacitor, I think. Yeah. The other one's a resistor. So this one here is the actual temperature sensor. I believe they're 10k ohm when they're cold, and then they go down as they get warmer. I think that's what it is. Let's see. Yeah, so right now cold, that one's 9.22 kiloohms, so that's normal. There's like 4 or 5 start selling baseball caps. I don't know, they don't have them on Teespring, I don't think. If I do, I'm gonna get one made inspired by Lewis and get the make him JTAG Lives Matter, or make make JTAGs great again. You're racist, Micah. Is it racist against HPs? Is that what you're saying? I want to see if it'll boot up. I really want to see what temperature warning it was giving me. I don't know that the CPU itself has an on-die sensor. I think it's the one that I just showed on the back. Because on the schematic, that sensor is called SoC NTC, which SoC is system on chip, which is the CPU. Yeah, it just shuts off immediately. I'm trying to see if something's getting too hot. Let me see what the resistance on that is now, since it got warm. 6.7 kilo ohms. So I mean that went down quite a bit. Let me try to get it to boot up again and see. Alright, so it's currently booting. Well, until I disconnect the fucking power. That's the only thing about these test leads. They're not very flexible, so if you try to flip the board over with them connected, they do not like it. It's not their cup of soup. What the fuck is that shit? This could be an SoC issue, I'm not sure. It says it's booting. I have no image though. Like the voltage was like it was booting, but there was no image. Let's see if it'll boot up again without. Let me see if it gets really hot. The amp draw is not high, so I don't think that it would be getting overly warm. I've got my finger on the RAM chip. I mean, it's getting warm now because it's pulling an amp on boot up. Which is normal though. I mean, the iPhones get really hot. iPhone needs to cool down before it can be used. Yeah, I think we have a temp sensor issue. PMIC monitors the temp sensors. So let me see if I can keep the CPU cool by using some of the cold freeze spray and see if that'll allow the phone to boot. Maybe the sensor on the bottom is just overly sensitive and the kilo ohms are dropping too fast, so it thinks it's overheating when it's not. That's a good possibility. No, even keeping it cool with the air canister, I didn't use the freeze spray, I just used the air canister there. It still said that it overheated. Let's see what my kilo ohms are now on that temp sensor. I'm using a power supply to directly power the phone. Yeah, so the kilo ohms on that now is 8.8 on boot up, so it can't be that one. So let's go through. There's several NTC lines. So I'm going to find all of the NTC lines. They still need to work on ZXWC can search for NTC. If you type it in, it doesn't bring up anything. I know there's one up by the rear camera because I've had to jump that one before to get the phone to work. It was doing the same thing, like as soon as it booted up it said it was overheating. There it is, cam NTC. So that should be, I'm looking at ZXW right now. Alright, so there's a temp sensor right here. These two right here, one of them is the resistor and one of them is the capacitor. So kind of pick that back. Alright, let's see which one's a resistor. So the one on the inside is a resistor. Let's see what it meters. Get a good ground. Okay, so that's not right. So that resistor is reading 0.3 ohms, and it could be due to a short under PMIC because PMIC reads all of them, or it could be due to the resistor itself is bad. But yeah, it's reading 1.2 ohms on that side and 1.2 ohms on that side. So I'm gonna take off the capacitor and see if maybe the capacitor is shorting it out, and then I'll take off the resistor and see if that's shorting it out. Alright, so the cap is off. You know, we need to cool it off or that resistor is going to read low anyway. If this was water damage, there's a good chance that that line could be damaged from the water damage. Alright, so that is off. Let's meter both sides. 1.1 ohms, 1.1 ohms. Alright, so now let's remove the resistor. See if the resistor is bad and is shorting the line to ground. Or is it under PMIC? Okay, resistor's off. Alright, so we should be able to just meter this now and see. Okay. Alright, so it's still reading short. So that means we have a problem under the PMIC. So let's see what's next to PMIC if there's ground anywhere near it. Yep, so there's ground right next door to PMIC, or the cam NTC pad. So that sucks. It's on both sides of it, actually. Let me see if I can see it, because you can actually see that pad if we take off the cap in front of it. So the pad is on the very outside, and it's actually right behind this cap here. So let's remove that cap real quick. Okay, capacitor's off. Let's see if we can zoom in to this and see if I can see it. I don't think you all will be able to see it just because how small it is. I don't know. It's hard to say. It doesn't necessarily look like it's touching anything, but there's obviously an issue there. So let's try reflowing it real quick. Maybe there's a cold joint or something happened there. Alright, so I'm going to let this cool off, and then I'm going to re-meter that line. And we'll hope that that minor reflow relieved our short. If it did not, then we'll have to pull PMIC and see if maybe the PMIC is bad internally. Alright, so it's still completely dead short. Let me check and make sure this doesn't run through anything else. Doesn't look like it. It shouldn't. I didn't expect that it would. So yeah, so we got a problem under PMIC, so we're gonna have to pull it back off. Aha, there you go. So looky there.
Look at there.
We can see our issue.
Oh, I thought you
It's
got
directly connected right there. The NTC pad is this one here, and this is ground. So we must have had either too much solder on the underside, or maybe it got nudged too much or something. So that's why we get an overheating warning immediately. And that's probably why the phone is shutting off, because it thinks that it's extremely hot and is trying to protect itself. So let me see if there's a way that I can possibly separate these. Okay. So the balls are separated. I'm going to reform these. Let's see if I can set it right back down on there without having to reball the whole thing. Ah, shit. Alright, I shifted that, so I'm gonna have to... Well, it's set down on there. Let me see. We'll find out real quick if that's good or not. Alright, our coil desoldered. So we need to resolder that. That's the other thing. I fear heating this so much that this CPU is going to be prone to lifting, because I'm sure it has leaded solder under it. Let's see if I got lucky and was able to place that right back down there if we got shorts. Let's see, 0. Yeah, so we got shorts. I'm going to have to lift it and reball it. Well, I tried. Reball time. Some chips I can lift them and reset them with no issue, but something this much that's got this many different solder balls on it, it's kind of hard to do. Well, I mean, that one looks okay on the lift. Fuck it, we already got it off. We're gonna reball it. Let's see what that's reading now. That's still reading short anyway. Maybe that cap's touching something. Maybe it wasn't the PMIC. Let's see. I can set it back on there again. Go 2 for 2. We'll take that one cap off and see what the fuck it's doing. Looks like it's touching again. It's got too much solder on the pads is the problem. So alright, it's coming up. I think that's probably a CPU cap or SoC, maybe even GPU. Let's see. Well, it says it's VCC main. Shouldn't have any VCC main shorts. Not from that, at least. Huh. So now I have a VCC main short from somewhere. Is one of these caps gone bad from putting heat to it, or what? So let's take these off and check them, since it's the only thing I put back on. Yeah, fucking VCC main's just randomly shorted somewhere now. This is when I start to hate these. Like, I get a little progress and then something fucks up. Like, just taking the fucking PMIC off and I have a VCC main short to ground. I'm gonna clean up the solder and see if maybe I've got a bridge that I can't see or something. These are the ones that frustrate me. The one that I have over here, I had one just like this the other day. I got it booting up. Everything was working on it except what was it? Touch wouldn't work on it. Found that the 1V8 line was short. Tried to find the 1V8 short after tracking it all over the board. Couldn't find it. So I had taken PMIC off, or it originally was replaced because it had problems anyway. Replaced PMIC, the phone booted, and then all of a sudden, after putting the PMIC back on, the phone wouldn't turn on anymore after I'd replaced it twice. So I have a feeling that I had overheated something on CPU that's now causing that issue. And this one now seems like we've got other issues that weren't there before, and I don't know why. I don't know where my VCC main short would be coming from. All of a sudden, maybe the NTC chip up, or not the NTC, the fucking Apple Pay chip up here, the NFC chip. Maybe that's our issue. It's a possibility of that. I'm gonna put this on the vise. I'm putting a lot of heat over the CPU, so I'm kind of worried that there may be some pressure put on the CPU itself. Let's see here. It's NFC chip lifted. No, it's not lifted, so I don't think that's my cause. I'm too far down the rabbit hole? No. I had solved all my issues, but caused an issue, and now I've caused a bigger issue, possibly. If I had just had that, if that NTC line hadn't shorted, I bet this thing would be done now. But now we're chasing, well, now VCC main short's gone. Okay, well, maybe it was one of these pads, so woohoo! I'll put new caps back on here again. I'm not gonna dick with any of those. They've been through heat cycle after heat cycle now. So let's reball the old PMIC again. Let me see if I can just lay the stencil over, since these balls are smaller than they're going to be, so, and they're already leaded, so I'm not worried about cleaning up the leaded solder that's already there. Alright, stencil. Clean the stencil. I don't think it was a cap that was shorted, because I took all the caps off and the short was still there. I think it was one of the balls under the PMIC must have been like barely touching something. Alright, so oh, I still got a little piece of shit in there. Let's reball our PMIC again. Alright. Turn our airspeed down again. Turn our heat down. You want this to be done on a fairly low heat. Oh god, those are my terrible tweezers.
Terrible tweezers.
Alright. I'm just going to heat these up. Make sure everybody takes to the pad. I want to let this cool some. As long as it's not SOC in plastic bottle, SOCO, in a plastic bottle. Hold out. Step taking a ripple and payment. Alright, so this should be cooled. Let's eject it from the stencil. Got a few stray little pieces of solder there, but we can clean those up. Magic Flux again. Okay. Got all their balls formed again. Let's clean this up. Where'd you come from? Did you get the Type-C charge port done on that tablet yet?
No.
Alright.
I don't know if you can do it or if you want me to do it.
It's easy, you can do it. It's a cable, it's not a
Oh,
solder job.
alright, well, I'll do that next.
I gotta do that MacBook next.
There's also the guy dropped off the 7 that he opened. I didn't know if you wanted
Oh,
to
okay.
look at it or what.
What was he having issues with?
You opened it up and he's got the screen off. It looked like he put some of the brackets back on. But he said he got too intimidating and stopped.
Okay, well,
He didn't even have a screen with him that he
we'll
got.
see how many things he damaged.
Yeah, it's what I was thinking.
He's probably knocked a shit ton of components off because that's what everybody does that doesn't know how to disconnect cables. Yeah, we got a MacBook here, 2015 or 14? I think it's a 14. I'm trying to think what's wrong with it. I think it just won't power on or something. I don't know. It's always the ISO. Could very well be the ISO. I haven't messed with it yet. JTAG. It's always a JTAG. Alright, so every ball looks good. Take number 648. Reinstalling this. Alright. Probably need to put some capacitors on first. Alright, capacitor scavenging 2.0. Let's see how shitty this board looks. Probably got flux all over it. Oh yeah, got some ugly caps too. I don't want to use those. Were all the caps missing on that side when you started and you got them from a donor? No, the caps on that side looked like shit, so I got rid of them and put new ones on. Now I'm gonna redo the same since the other ones, I had to heat cycle them so many times. It bothers me doing that with caps, because caps have a heat rating. They're not supposed to be heated above a certain amount. That's why I try to get caps off as fast as I can. Well, just shot that one into outer space. Whatever. Alright, let's see. Who else is VCC main that I can snag? That's the same package size. You two fuckers over here. are also VCC main. And I think that will be enough caps that I need. So I'm just looking for... I was looking for caps that were on VCC, that way we know they'll match at least. No audio?
You're there.
Hello.
Can I help you?
I heard you're the best at working on phones. Is that right?
Should have audio.
We gotta have a niche, huh?
Yeah.
My
Five C?
screen will not come on. I don't know if it's a screen. I don't know. And I had it plugged in,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if it just died completely or if it can be fixed.
It might need a battery too.
Okay.
What do you charge? What do you...
We don't charge anything to look at it. We'll have to open it up and take a look and kind of test it and find out what's going on with it to find out why it's not coming on.
Okay.
It could just be a battery. If it's the battery, it'd be 35. If it's the LCD, then it'd be 60. But we'll probably just have to take a look at it and find out why it's not coming on exactly.
Okay.
You guys have reconditioned phones
Yeah. We've got another 5C right now, and then we've also got a 6S Plus at the moment.
too. I got a 5S.
Oh yeah.
That's a 5S too?
No, it's a 5C.
P?
C.
C.
See.
Mm-hmm.
I
No, it's just all the 5Cs are plastic bodied, and then the 5S is
More
aluminum.
aluminum.
It's aluminum, yeah.
Yeah.
Aluminum more square, than these are. These are kind of rounded and everything.
So what's your price to your 5? What was the one you got? You got a 5 something?
We got another 5C, and the price on it's $100.
And then what's the other one? Do you have six?
We have a 6S Plus, and the price on it's
$350.
You get new ones. She got a lot of stuff on there. That's the thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, everybody does.
Yep. Our phones are our lives.
Yes.
Yep.
Now I heard this morning that they're finding out young kids are having syndromes from being on
Being on devices too
devices
much.
all the time.
Yeah.
They call it some kind of device syndrome. And some kids are.
Pretty dependent
Yeah.
on them, yeah. And then my nephew, he snuggles up to his tablet like it's a teddy bear or something.
Yeah.
How, what do you think an average turnaround time would be?
Should have something figured out by today. Probably I get an iPad done, almost done with, and then I'll probably take a look at it. It should take me about maybe 2 or 3 hours.
Okay. Is today the 17th?
18th.
18th.
Yep.
I don't think there's a passcode on there.
If you can't remember the passcode or anything, it should be fine because we're just worried about getting it turned on.
If there is one, it's probably that right there.
Okay.
We'll put a question mark by it because that don't mean it's for real.
Okay.
You might put that right in there for you.
All right, and we'll give you a call.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
gave
You
you
got
my
this?
husband's. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be in Butler County later, and there's no cell phone over there. Where
Oh,
I'm
okay.
We'll still get
Well,
the message.
I'll leave a message
Yeah.
or something. Yep.
Okay, and are you Chris?
I'm
Okay.
Micah.
Okay,
He's Chris.
okay. You're Micah?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Not a problem.
Alright, so far so good. No crazy voltage differences. Hey, it looks normal. Hey, we got Apple logo. Let's see what happens now. Will it boot and stay on? That's the question. It might give me, yeah, I forgot to put the camera temperature sensor back on. I might have to replace those. Let me see, because right now, if there's no resistance, the phone thinks that it's overheating on the camera. But I need to check and see if my line is shorted. If it's not shorted, we're doing well. Alright, so it's not shorted. I should be able to put those back and it should boot normally now. So when the line reads no resistance, that means that the PMIC thinks that the phone is at its highest possible temperature. So it's going to shut it off for protection. But if we replace this resistor and this cap, we should be in business. Butt water phones do get gloves, that's true. If there's butt water on here, it's getting a glove. Okay, got my resistor. Come over here. We're going to place it right back on this pad where it goes. Okay, refloat into place. Now we need to grab our capacitor. Okay, capacitor's off. I thought that resistor reflowed into place, but evidently it was just sitting there pretending to be on its pads. Let's add a little flux there. Help promote those to sit down on the pads. There we go. Alright, let's cool that off. Arts and crafts for geeks. that's probably true. Alright, let's clean up our residue here. And then we will retest again. It'd be my luck that one of the other temp sensors is shorted to ground. It seems like Apple is just like a dickhole. They put like ground all the way around all the NTC lines, which are your temp sensors. So if any of them are slightly off, it's going to short and tell the phone that it's overheating and that it needs to shut down immediately. Alright, so it's booting up again. Let's see, will it boot or will we get an over temp warning again? Find out here shortly. Fingers crossed, please work. Please work, please work, please work, please work. Hey! Phone's on. Touch doesn't work. So, oh, there goes. Touch works. Looky there. We got ourselves a working phone, ladies and gents.
Chris done fixed it.
I done did fixed it. I made fix on it.
These people fixed this iPad with super glue.
Does that have super glue on it?
It's super glue.
That would be fucking digital doc for you. Alright, so great success. We have working phone. So, moral of the story is don't do drugs.
Crack pills, smoke the laws.
Your flora and fauna do not match customers. I'm pretty stoked that that worked. So, since this phone does turn on now, I don't think they gave us a passcode. I'm going to ask the guy for the passcode because I've had some phones that will turn on, they'll work fine, I send them out, and then they fucking die somewhere along the line. So, I'm going to get that info. But for now, I'm going to set it off to the side.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Back with iPhone 6.
Don't say nothing.
There you go.
$80 either, right?
There will be some tax. Have you had anything done here before?
Yes, sir. First time.
Alright, let me add you in here real quick. First name?
Yes, sir. Last name is K-A-M-A-L-N.
Cell phone number?
270-996-1331.
And lastly,
I
address.
put my shields back on.
25 Boyd Avenue, GOI,
Don't forget about your shields. Shield time.
Uh, 42101.
Yes, sir.
Let's see if...
They're $10.
No, she hasn't come to get it yet.
Yeah, I'll put it on there for you.
That's gonna be there. Yeah.
Alright.
Don't give up, no, no, no. I don't want, no. Stop yelling.
Huh?
Stop yelling.
Oh, who's me
Let me see it. How bad is it?
It's not very bad. Just right up there in the top corner. Chris, you're imagining things. It's from the. It's from the
glass screen protector.
Yeah, it's from the glass screen protector.
Actually, Seth said you can heat them up and press them down and they'll go, but
I'm not gonna try.
I'm not doing it either. Not for me, Jelly Bean.
Not on me.
Alright, so baseband shield, titty. Somebody's already had baseband off, as you can see. Large amounts of solder. I won't give up. No, no, no. Do 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 do. Burning up my fingertips. Getting really hot, touching shit. Alignment. Teddy. Not alignment. Why you no solder? Oh, what?
On the screen.
Wrong screen.
Yeah, look right in plus.
What is that one? 6 plus?
6 plus.
Can I give you the right one?
Yeah. This for 6 plus. Yeah. Does that one say 6? Yep. All right.
There we go. Motor bonding. No picking your nose while working. I do it all the time. Sometimes you get them up in there, you just gotta get them out. Ain't nobody got time for that. Alright. Shields on. I don't think the 888 will do any of the new iron tips, will it? I wouldn't get it if it won't.
There we go. Alright, total after tax and everything's going to be 93 even.
Good evening.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Antenna time.
$7 to your change there. Let me get your receipt.
Biddle, 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 biddle,
There
biddle,
you go.
biddle, biddle, biddle.
Not a problem. You have a good day.
Biddle, 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 biddle. Chris Long, no it won't, but the tips are $3 for it, and it does the job fine for me, plus I'm too cheap to buy $9.51. Well, TCRS, I think the one thing that you forget though is, in your line of work, you don't need micro tips. So I completely agree with you. For what you're doing, you don't need anything else. Because I did the same work with the same style tips on my AU unit for 2 years with no problems. Now when I switched over to trying to do iPhone work, that shit won't cut it. I had to get a micro pencil. Like, I used my standard iron by whittling my tips down for a while, and that worked for a little bit, and then that became too difficult in some stuff, so I had to switch over and buy a FM203. I didn't have to buy the FM203, but I bought it used for $400 with 2 irons and the stands and the cutoff switches and the key and everything. Like, it was a decent price for a FM203 that, I mean, it works to this day just fine. So, Micah, what'd you pay for yours? Yours was a showroom model, never used.
Yeah.
Was yours
400.
400 also? It just didn't come
It
with.
didn't come with all the stuff you're.
Yeah, it didn't come with all the stands.
I think in the end I ended up paying maybe
About $600. Yeah.
For everything.
Well, that's still not bad considering, like, most of the time that station new sells for $600 without the micro pencil and stuff. Well, it doesn't look like a complete turd, so that's good. So that board's back together. Shields are soldered on, and we'll give it back to Michelle over there. Michelle can put it all back together, and we can ship it out. You can ship up or ship out. I'm going to inform them that the screen will probably need to be replaced since well, not replaced. They can probably solder this, but I'm not going to dig with it. That needs to be done on it. Alright. Now we're going to work with something that TCRS likes. MacBook. So this is a...
You put in the title?
I didn't put it in the title.
Loose will show up.
No, this isn't as new as I thought it was. Why does this say 2011? There's no way it's 2000. It's probably like a 13 or a 14. It's gotta be. It's a Retina. No, it's an Air. So it might be actually a 2011 Air. Excuse me. I may be wrong. Let me see. Yep, MacBook Air. So 13 inch, probably 2011. Maybe 12. Air. It's a 1369. So what this one originally came in with, I remember now. Alright, so TCRS, see if you can guess what this one would be the cause, or what would have caused it. And this does turn on with the charger present, but as soon as you turn or take the charger off, it dies. The battery in it is brand new, replaced at the Apple store across the street. The reason it came in on the back of the cover here, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let me see. Okay, you can see it right there. See that spot on the back of the cover? The battery actually arced right there, which is somewhere like over here in the middle. It's not even on a corner or near a connector. It's like in the middle of the battery. It arced and burned up and stopped working, so the battery was replaced. So what I'm thinking is there's got to be some type of current sense or something that occurs. God damn, this thing's been fucking mutilated on the screen. The screen's got like gashes in the aluminum, and like it's like ground down on a corner and two corners. Looks like they've dropped this thing a few times. So I have a feeling I might have to take the board out, which I don't want to, but I'll have to pull the schematic up here. The battery, yes, battery is recognized. It sees that it's there, and it will charge it, and it can read the status of it, but it won't boot off of it or run off of it. Let me grab a charger real quick. It's a MagSafe 1. Micah, do we have a MagSafe 1 over there?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait. I don't know.
Micah. Hold on. Maybe I have one.
Just don't make it.
Nope, I have MagSafe 2. I need MagSafe 1. Thank you. Alright, so we'll plug it in here. Got a green light. Doesn't turn orange, so I'm pretty sure it sees battery, but it's not turning orange. So turn it on. Backlight's on. Apple logo. It's booting up. I'm gonna let it boot up and check. See, that's why I was thinking a current sensing issue. Like a battery current sense, like it's not allowing the battery to run. Because the battery, let me see what voltage it's reading right now. The battery right now is reading 8.35 volts. The only clue is that the battery exploded. Alright, so in the OS, it sees the battery and says the battery is at 98% and is currently charging. Why would I want to measure PP bus G3 hot? Okay, so it's running right now, but as soon as I unplug it, backlight goes off, computer shuts off. Yeah, I'm thinking that the current sense is also fucked. It would make sense to me, and that's what I told him originally, that I thought that it was a current sensing issue for the battery, and it can't tell that the battery's there, so it doesn't run off of it. Even though it sees it and can talk to it, it can't really do anything with it. Well, there's something I noticed. Looks like either somebody's worked on it, or that got hot enough that the solder on it melted. You see that there? Almost looks like some water damage there too, because and we're missing the component, I think, right here. Yeah, we're missing the component there too. Alright, so it looks like somebody's been in here dicking around already. He told me that they hadn't touched it, so maybe they took it somewhere else and fucked with it. So let me see if I've got the schematic and board view. MacBook. What year did I say this was? The model. 1369. Alright, let's see. What's your board number? You're an 820-3023. So 3023. I have 3023. I don't have the board view. Okay, so you want me to check PP bus G3 hot for partial short to ground? We can do that. I'm gonna have to go download the board view. Hold on. Boop 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 boop. Boop 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 boop. MacBook Air 3023 schematic. I need, what's in there? Board file. Here we go. Let's download the BRD file. I'm glad somebody told me about this website. Oh, Tim already sent it to me. Tim, you're too fast, man. You're too fast. I was downloading it. Let's see which one gets done first. Download through browser. Or click here to download. Oh, which one will finish? Looks like the one from this website beat it. Just barely. They both came in almost the same time. Alright, so we're going to cut that one, and then we're going to go and drop it into our folder. Thank you, Tim, though. I appreciate it. I've got a bunch of these, but I don't have all the board views for a lot of them. I have schematics, because schematics tend to be easy to find. But the board views tend to be the pain in the dick to find. Okay, so it's opening now to my board view. Just waiting on it. Alright, so we got that open. Let me drag it up here. Alright, so PP bus G3 hot, where are you at? You're probably right here on this giant inductor if I was guessing. Charger phase, PP bat G3 hot, that's ground. Alright. Charger phase, let's just fucking search for it. PP bus G3 hot. Enter. Okay. Well, that's part of charger phase, evidently. Alright, so diode reading for PP bus G3 hot. We need to satisfy our... Oh, look at that. It looks like shit too. It looks like we had some water in here. I don't think they said there was any water in here, but signs keep pointing more and more to the fact that there was. Alright, so these large capacitors here are all BCC main. So let's see, what's our rating? VCC main is reading 0.450 and climbing 0.451 voltage drop to ground. So I don't think that's the problem. Let's meter. Is this positive or negative? Okay, so this is a negative side, so this is ground. Let's see, what was here? That had to be like a small capacitor or something. So that shouldn't make any difference really. Let me see. I can look and see right here what it was. Yeah, C7270. So that's just a small cap. Alright, so we need to find charger U gate, which should lead me back to the ISL. So U7000, here's U7000, so it's on the back of the board. I'll have to pull the fucking thing out. Tantalum caps, yeah. I don't understand why they use tantalum caps. I mean, I know they're cheaper, but... Well, I don't even think they're cheaper anymore. They used to be, but I don't even think that's the case now. I don't even think tantalums are cheaper than ceramics anymore. Lewis and I had this discussion one time about tantalums, and I looked up the specs on tantalums versus ceramics, and ceramics outperform tantalums in every way possible. They're lower ESR, they have a higher temperature that they can sustain, they can store power more efficiently, they have less leakage. Like in all phases they're better, but for some reason Apple thinks that they should use tantalum caps on everything. It doesn't make any sense to me. And tantalums just, they tend to cause more issues. They fail a lot more due to heat than other items normally do. Other capacitors. Alright, so I'm going to disconnect everything here. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't see some type of water damage or something on the underside of this board. Would not shock me one bit. Alright, where's my other screwdriver? They are. So I'm going to push this out of the way for a second so I can take the SSD out and then take out all these screws. Get rid of all these iPhone capacitors I have sitting on my table here. Maximize profit and planned obsolescence. Well, yeah, that's very true. If you can set it up to fail. I like to make sure that all the screws sit in the same spot. I know some of them are the same length, but it really bugs me. You can take the SSD out. It's crazy how long the SSD is in these, and then if you look at the new Mac, The SSD is literally the size of a RAM slot. Well, I understand that larger ceramic caps are more a new thing and that the cost has come down just as recently, but I mean this MacBook has to be a 2013, I would think, maybe a 12, but I would think that by 2013 or 12 that we would have low cost ceramic caps by now. Just my thinking. Alright, so board is out.
Where'd the board to this?
Right here. iPhone 6. I would leave the battery disconnected. Don't plug it in.
Won't plug it in?
Yeah. Because it may have some issues.
Okay.
Alright, so here's our ISL. Let's see if we see anything that sticks out that says, hey, I'm fucked. I don't really see anything around it that says liquid damage or somebody has fucked me. No holes in it. Pins look good. Alright, so let's do some current sense stuff. Move the Facebook thing first. Now touch it.
You can see how many help you.
Alright, so charger sense positives. Here we go. So there's those. So come over schematic charger underscore CSI.
And iPod 6th gen. How much was the iPod 6th gen?
150.
150 on it. We
It's
have an iPhone 6s Plus that's 350, and then we have an iPhone 5C that is 100.
Alright, so our charger sense lines here, there should be 2 ohms and 0 ohms. So we need to measure between pins 17 and 18. Is what it's saying. So pins 17 and
Do you know how
18.
many gigs this is?
16 gig, I believe.
It's a 16 gig.
So
I think he's pretty set on that price.
yeah, being a 6th gen.
Yeah.
So we're metering 3 ohms there, so that's within spec. 2.6 and then 0 pretty much. What's our leads give us on the resistance? 0.3 on the leads resistance, so that's well within spec. So it's not current sense. What else would have to do with keeping the battery gate open or closed to run off a battery? So the gate pin, charger B gate, is pin 16, which is this one here. Let's meter that to ground and see what it is. Okay, so it's not grounded out. I thought maybe the capacitor was bad. Yeah, it's 17 mega ohms. Alright, so if the battery gate is good, what else could there be? What do you think, NTCRS? Change the ISL? Just do it? Alright, we'll change the ISL. Let me make sure I got one. 6259. I should have 3 of them left. So ISL 6259. Let me get my MacBook parts. 6259. Alright, so it's got a nice little texture on the chip there. ISO 6259. Well, this one's an HRTZ and this one's an AHRTZ, so that may not work. Let's see if I have one. That's going to be the question now. Or if these are all for the older Macs than the newer ones. That one's just HRTZ. And so is that one. So we might be shit out of luck unless I got a parts board back there. These are all 628s, I think. Yeah. Looks like a fake. Well, maybe. Do you know if there's any difference in them? Between the A and the non-A model? Yeah, these are 6258s. Where did I get them? I don't fucking know. Fucking the bottom of the ocean. Let me go grab a parts board. Let's see what this old retina has. It should work. I'm not gonna fucking mess with it. I don't know, where is your fucking power shit, bitch? Where are you? I think it's down here actually. Well, fuck, I already scavenged that one. Let's see what this one has. What chip do you have on here? Where is your ISL chip located is the next question. Oh, there it is. Okay, there we go. 65.9 A-Hertz. We'll take that in. Somebody can check. I'm just gonna rob this chip from it. Alright, so TCRS thinks it's my heat station's a pussy. What temperature you run on CTRS or TCRS? That way I know.
500 Celsius.
Are you running on 500 degrees? 400C. What airflow do you run on, max? I don't want to run on max. I got mine at 50% right now. Whatever the fuck airspeed that is. Max. We'll run mine on 65% airspeed. Let's see how it does. This ain't max, so. There you go. So however fucking long that was. That's 65% airspeed at 400 degrees Celsius on my station. Telling you, man, this station ain't bad. As much shit as I get for using it. I wouldn't have made all the money I have if it was shit. I do like the Quick though, don't get me wrong. It's a good ass station. If this one ever takes a shit on me, I'll buy the Quick one. Mark said the same thing. He said if his Hakko ever died, he'd buy a Quick station also. That one's off. Keep our orientation the same. Reheat should be much faster here since it's already warm. There it goes, it's set into place. So let's look at the legs on this and make sure that they look good. That side looks good. That side looks good. We'll take a look at the other sides of it. That one's soldered. Work on it now. What the fuck is it? Alright, so they're all soldered. Let that cool off a little bit. Squash it down. I did. I pushed it down, and then after I pushed it down, I let it pull itself back over. Why do I have to add more solder? It's fucking soldered, bro. Why y'all so anti my soldering, bro? It's got that good solder. Got that OEM Apple on it, bro. Is that not good enough? Where the fuck is the chip now? Can't even find it. I've gone retarded. Oh, it's over here. Hold on 1 second. Yellow. Was it? No. Yeah. Sausage and a sausage pizza and a pepperoni pizza. Alright. Love you. Bye. Goddamn, all the phones are ringing. Micah's left. You can see. We don't have any right now. The place across the street, that's the actual name of it, the place, they're an Apple store. They sell brand new ones. I think they're like $70. You're welcome. Bye. Do your job, Micah. God!
What? I had to take a piss.
I know. Ashton's bringing his pizza.
Pizza! Micah likes pizza!
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 Micah loves pizza!
Fucking Micah.
Give me pizza! P-I-Z-Z-A, I want pizza!
You're so stupid.
Dude, I have this.
TCRS is trying to pressure me into putting more solder on this, even though
Put
it's
more solder
properly
on it,
soldered.
Chris.
Micah, stop trying to pressure me too. Like, those joints are soldered. What do I need to put solder on them for?
Chris, put more.
Alright, I'll put more. And then when it fucks up, I'm be like, it's all your all's fault.
No, it'll be your fault for putting more on there.
And be like, chat told me to do it. I'm gonna put more solder on here, and then when it fucks up, then I'm gonna be like, well, told you so. Told you so. I'm gonna use my sweet ass fucking tweezers for this shit too. Alright, I put more solder on the sides. Now all the pads on the sides are resoldered, just to appease the crowd. I feel like I'm a gladiator here now. Buffalo Bill's at it again. I don't know what the fuck Micah's watching. Some creepy ass shit though. Micah watches some fucking dumb shit. He's watching a show about pizza or something. What are you watching? Let's heat this up to get rid of some of this flux. Alright, that's soldered on. Let's see what happens, Captain. Pizza! Pornhub.
P-I-Z-Z-A.
Check out some liquid damage. Micah's watching like gothic Pornhub. I feel like the reason that I never see you outside of work, Micah, is because you're at home scouring the internet for shit like this.
I do.
You're just like, what do you search? Weird shit online?
Huh? Yeah. The weirdest shit there is.
What am I opening?
I scour the dark edges of the net, Chris.
The link? I don't know if I want to see it.
What? It's Olsen twins.
No, I'm talking about...
Oh. Pizza pie. Oh god, that goes on forever.
I'm gonna do this and then the computer's not gonna start up anymore because you are a bad influence.
Put more solder on.
Put more solder on it. Put a little solder in your heart.
Give me pizza. P-I-Z-Z-A. I I want pizza. Watch it rise like a souffle.
Alright, I'm gonna put a couple screws back in this to hold it down whenever we're testing here, so we don't have a board just flopping around. Plug everything back in. Where's my cable at? There it is. It's legit. Open it. Ah, fuck me. Video output low. Why is video output low? Because Mike is streaming the dumbest fucking videos on the internet.
No! I'm not streaming nothing.
Let's see. Liquid damage. Yeah, that's a little liquid damage there. It looks like salt water. Come on, YouTube. Fucking pick up your goddamn stream. Shit. Alright, so let's plug in our screen. Let's plug in our battery. I guess the true test will be just press the power button and see if it turns on. Holy shit. Look at there.
Spin, spin, spin.
It's booting up on battery now. How about them nipples?
Is that because you put more solder on there?
No, it's because I replaced the ISL chip.
I think it's 'cause
Let's
you
see
put
if
more
we get
solder.
a orange light now. It's still green. Not orange yet. No orange light.
Shit.
But now when I disconnect the charger, it stays on. Woohoo! TCRS, you didn't fix it. I did.
I fixed it.
Micah fixed it. He said so. Now TCRS, why am I not getting orange light when the battery's at 98%? Should it not be at 100, or does it let it dissipate down to a certain percentage and turn it on? Why the fuck am I going to check current sense now? Current sense was good before. At least the resistors were. Does this have to drop below a certain percentage before it'll let it charge? I mean, it says it's charging, but I still have a green light. Like, on the computer, when I plug it in, it sees the charger and it goes to the lightning bolt, but the actual... it doesn't actually turn orange on the charge light. Alright, fuck it. I don't care. It runs on the damn charger or off the battery now. Let's see how long it'll run on battery. Battery! Oh, it shut off.
Uh-oh.
It shut off. It didn't stay working.
Chris, you should have looked at battery sense. Or current sense.
Did I short something out? Let's see, it's powering on. It's working. What's oh, nope. As soon as I disconnect the battery, it shuts off again. So we've run into an issue again. When I press the power button, the fan just barely jerks and then shuts off. Is the battery dead, but it thinks that it's not? What should this battery be at? What does it say? 7.6 volts. So, let's see. What is it at? Oh, the battery's dead. But it thinks that it's not. Huh. That means that something with the data lines has to be off, because Right now it's telling me the battery percentage is at 5.48 volts. It can't be ISL. We just put a different ISL on it. Before I pulled it TCRS, it was giving me the same percentage that I had on the other ISL, so it can't be an ISL issue. It has to be something to do with the battery data lines. Because if I plug it in, or maybe this battery is just completely shit that's in it. That was put in by the Apple Store though. Yeah, if I plug in the charger, it goes up to 8.3 volts. Let me see what happens when I disconnect the charger. 8.3. Disconnect. Still at 8.3. I think this battery's fucked. Let me see what happens when I turn it on. It turns on. Yeah, the battery's fucked. As soon as I turn it on, the voltage on the battery goes from 8.3 volts to 5.4. So there has to be an issue internal to the battery. That's kind of screwy because this battery is supposed to be brand new from Apple. Yeah, 5.4 volts. 5.4 volts. This is ground. These are the data lines. That one's 3.3, that's correct. 3.3, that's correct. 0.223, that's temperature. So these two are data, this is temperature, and these three are power output. I don't have a battery to test with, so as soon as I plug the charger back in, 8.35 volts. Let's see what the pin over here is. Yeah, the data lines are fine. They're 3.365 volts, so probably 3.4 line.
Hey there. Hey, how you doing? Doing pretty good. Can I help you?
Yeah, I called a little while ago about the iPod
Okay.
Touch.
Here we go. I think
You know, man.
Oh, nothing right now. I don't know much right now, that's for sure.
I don't know much.
I know enough to get in trouble.
That's it. I mean, you both.
So I'm gonna chalk this up to battery.
you got a lightning cable over there, Chris?
Yep. Boop. Lightning cable.
Have y'all been having any problems with the iPhone 7 Plus and the batteries?
We've heard some of them have already started dying.
Yeah. I called a while back, was asking about it, he said it'd be about $50.
Yeah.
Went to Digital Dot. You didn't have one I was trying to get fixed, so I could have my phone for business. And
Yeah.
went over there and they said, well, erase the phone and see if the battery still goes down pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I tried that. It did. And went back over there and told them, yeah, that's what happened. And, you know, it'll die. And then if I plug it in, it starts working. It'll
Yeah.
work the entire time, but I got it plugged in.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a problem Apple needs to fix. We're not going to sell you a battery. Are you serious? You told me to do all this. You got a battery. You told me how much
Good
it
to see you. How may I help
Then you
you?
don't want to do it.
Yeah. They're
This
probably
is like
afraid of damaging the screen.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll be honest. Is the phone still in the 1-year warranty? Isn't it?
I think it is.
iPhone
I'd be
4?
honest with you. I would take it to Apple too.
Yeah,
I
I just didn't have time at the moment.
think it's
Yeah.
the
I mean,
Which I've got
How much is it
insurance
on
on
an
it as well,
iPhone
so I wouldn't
4?
worry about them messing something up. you know.
iPhone 4 screen.
45.
45.
Yeah, the 7
45.
battery being under warranty still, I would definitely take it back to them. But I mean, if you didn't want to, we'd be more than happy to just order one.
Okay, sounds good. No problem. Bye.
I might end up doing that because I'm going to eat up $50 in gas just running up and down the road.
I would think that they would do it through mail-in, so you
Hey,
don't have
can
to
I help you?
travel.
Yeah, I
Okay.
suppose if you look at this phone, it's supposed to have the virus on it. that computer the other day. And it's saying it's still got a fire or something.
It shouldn't.
Probably a pop up or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what this one looks like it is too.
Pop up. What is it?
It had popped up. It went away. Let me see if I can bring it back.
Just start uninstalling everything and clear the internet cache. Look through the programs. There's probably a program that's been installed that's doing it. Would be my guess.
How's business been going?
Pretty good.
Doing pretty good. Good.
We stay busy with a lot of water damage stuff. Nobody else either knows how to fix it or wants to fix it. So we get stuck with it. It's fine by me. I don't mind them.
Keeps you busy.
Oh yeah.
That's a good thing. You can do
Yeah.
something nobody else can. That's awesome.
Yeah, we stay really busy on this stuff.
So a lot of other people not mess with it.
Digital Doc tries to mess with them, but I don't think their technician knows how to diagnose them. Because they've sent over some phones here that, well, they didn't send them here, but the customers came here after Digital Doc looked at it, and Digital Doc told them it wasn't fixable. And it's usually a pretty simple fix to get them working again. I think they don't, I mean, they still, I think, advertise that they do water damage, but I don't think they push it as much anymore. They also started offering like some micro soldering stuff, but based off of what I had seen, the guy doing it didn't really know what he was doing. He actually ruined a phone that came over here.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Alright, so that one is battery problem. No, it's in Bowling Green, Kentucky. It may be in Oregon, I don't know. They may have a store there. The one here, though, is not. Let's turn our temps back down here. I'm gonna look at one more phone, then lunch should be here by then.
No, I had left. I was just going off what we were seeing, so I mean, if he doesn't send it there, I never see that chance on the else.
Alrighty. Let's open up this package. See if it has anthrax in it. Looks like it does. It's been masking taped all over.
They're not a new building?
I don't even know where to start to open this thing.
Yeah, as far as I know. I mean, I had your mother try to send them out, but they already invoiced it sometime.
Is there a seam here or anything? Am I just cutting through random stuff? Nope, looks like this box is going to be cut up.
Still charging.
Alright, what do we got here? Ebola. No power. Confirmed VCC main and long screw damage. Okay.
Okay, can I get you a thumb on these forms here so I can keep you with the phones?
Bring that computer back, maybe we can look at it.
Okay.
This goes with the one that you put together.
Okay.
The iPhone 6.
Yes.
Who sent anthrax? It's a good question. Who sent it?
Great. How much do I get?
I got it run it up here.
So, about that privacy glass,
Mm-hmm.
do I need to pay you all before you order it?
No, we can order.
No, we'll order.
Have you ever used privacy glass before?
Mom on my phone, but I've messed with
Yeah,
phones that had
Okay.
that
I
fly.
got no one.
Hey, you just have to
Okay,
you have to
yeah,
run it on
okay,
higher
fine.
brightness to see it.
Put me on.
So
Right.
it'll run the battery down a little faster. but
Right.
That's about it.
Okay.
Let me go grab that phone real quick. After tax, it's going to be $172.20. Fancy, how may I help you? What is it again? Yeah, he's here. He's a little busy at the moment, though. We can get it closer done by stairs and all, can't we?
Yeah. What year?
What year is it?
And what's wrong with it?
07.
What's wrong with
What's wrong with it? Buzzer.
it? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we can get it done.
What the heck?
Do you say you were gonna run out today, or what was it now? Do you want to pick it up in the morning, or?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, he'd say you can pick it up in the morning. Okay. All right, sounds good. No problem. Bye.
Put my license and all there. Phone number.
Okay.
So, did I already ask how long it took to get this in?
It'll be sometime next week.
Perfect.
Put it on the table. Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You have a good day.
This one looks like a train wreck here. This phone. Sent in because they sent it to another store that worked on it and they train wrecked it.
Oh.
Evidently they ripped every cable on it and long screw damage and everything else.
Okay, I'm gonna go home and pack things up. It's so hot outside. Okay.
Bye, Hannah.
Thank you. What time's your thing at? Okay. 7 or 8?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Be careful. Love you. Alright. I'm gonna take this one apart. I may break this one up into a separate stream because food is here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream and then we'll start back up here in about 30 or 40 minutes. I think you all got a good show for the first half of it here. But I'll be back on in a little bit. See you all in a little while.